Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nancy, and today on the episode of Let's Gist, we are talking natural birth versus cesarean section. Why are women still at war? Well, today we are stepping into a conversation that often gets heated: natural birth versus cesarean section. It's a topic that shouldn't divide us, but somehow it still does. I recently chanced on one post on one of the social media channels. A lady came telling people she had delivered naturally, and the comments that followed still show that people are still at war as to giving birth through natural birth and cesarean section. So today, let's delve into that. From both African and Western perspectives. And let's talk about why women continue to argue about which birth method is more valid. Well, in many African societies, natural birth is often praised as a rite of passage, a show of strength and womanhood. Yeah, normally when people give birth naturally, a lot of people see them to be a why are they power one. Like that's how normally people see such people, like they have strength to go through the natural birth. Some women who undergo cesarean sections are sometimes quietly pitied or openly judged. Some go to the extent of questioning those who go through cesarean section, saying, "Ah, did you even give birth?" Meaning they tend to question the fact that the person didn't give birth naturally, so they see that as not giving birth. Natural birth here means the vaginal birth. Yeah. So we'll use natural birth for that. Mhm. People often tend to judge people who go through cesarean section. They see them as the soft life type of people. They don't want to suffer. That's how people see them. And so they tend to see them as people who don't want to suffer to give birth. And they see those who go through the natural birth as people that went through the natural way that God created it. There is a belief among some that unless you push, you haven't really given birth. And it's common to hear things like, "She took the easy way," especially when someone has CS. Meanwhile, in the Western cultures, while natural birth is still respected, cesarean section birth are more widely accepted and normalized, especially when chosen for medical or even personal reasons. In some circles, women even plan elective cesarean sections without shame or backlash. Yes, there are people who plan to do that, and it's accepted. But even there, the judgment still lingers. You hear debate about whether real moms opt for drug-free natural birth and whether cesarean sections are too clinical or disconnected. So, the shaming exists, just in different shades. So, why the war? Let's discuss that. The war. Why the war? Some women feel the need to defend their birth choices because society has attached value and identity to how we give birth. Whether it's about strength, sacrifice, or bravery, people have forgotten one key thing. Every woman brings life into this world in her own way. Yes, whether it's the natural birth or cesarean section, it's about bringing life into the world in your own way. You can choose anyhow. The most important thing is bringing a life into the world. Let's remember this: whether you had a 30-hour labor or a scheduled C section, you are a mother. You carried life, nurtured it, and brought it into the world. That alone is powerful. We need to stop comparing scares and start celebrating survival, strength, and motherhood in every form. So, my fellow women, let's see every birth as okay and natural. The most important thing is we brought life into this world. No judgment, no looking down on others, no looking down on whether one brings forth a baby through cesarean section or through the natural way. We all give birth, and that's the most important thing. Whether you are a mom, planning to be one, or just passionate about women's experience, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share your thoughts in the comments. What have you heard about cesarean section? What comment do you hear people say? What about natural birth? What do you hear people talk about? What's the war? What about natural birth and cesarean section that you have heard people talk about? You have heard people debate about? Write everything in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Let's stop the war. Were you judged for your birth choice? Sometimes people are judged for going through a particular birth choice, deciding on a particular birth. But sometimes what normally happens is there are emergencies. People get to the hospital and immediately they need to do a cesarean section when their plan was to go through a natural birth. Anything happens. Whether you go through the emergency cesarean section or your choice was to just give birth through the cesarean section, or you decide to go through the natural birth, there shouldn't be any judgment anywhere. We should all accept the fact that we brought life into this world, and that is the most important thing. No arguments, no judgments, no pitying. Why does it feel like a competition? Why do women feel the need to defend how they brought life into this world? In many African cultures, childbirth is deeply tied to a woman's identity and strength. Natural birth is often seen as the proper or complete way to bring a child into the world. If you didn't go through labor, push, cry, sweat, scream, some people will act like you skipped the process. Some women are even told things like, "You don't know labor pain. You just slept and woke up with a baby." That is when they go through cesarean section. Others hide the fact that they had a cesarean, fearing shame or gossip, especially in more traditional or rural areas. There is this unfair perception that cesarean birth are easier or less of an achievement. In the Western lens, cesarean birth are more normalized. Women choose to go through the elective cesarean section and they are not backlashes. There is also more access to pain relief, birthing classes, and open discussions about postpartum care. I don't get it twisted. Judgment still exists. You hear things like, you didn't even try to have a natural birth, or you are not a real mom unless you push. So, even though the environment may be more accepting, many women still face subtle shame. Where does the division come from? This invisible competition between mothers is rooted in society's need to measure motherhood. We praise suffering and forget that childbirth, no matter the method, is a miracle. It's not about the method, it's about the mother. Did the mother survive? Pain doesn't make you more of a mother. Scares don't make you more valuable. Whether you had an epidural, a water birth, an emergency cesarean section, or a home birth, you are still a mother. And your experience is valid. I have heard from so many women, and their experiences were: one said her mother-in-law told her she didn't really give birth because she had a cesarean section. Another was made to feel guilty for choosing an epidural. But I've also heard from women who are healing, choosing to honor their birth journey regardless of what anyone thinks. My message for you: your body did something powerful. You created life. That's enough. Stop apologizing for how your birth happened. Share your story proudly. And let's stop judging each other. We are all on the same team. If you felt seen by this video, if it made you pause and think, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Share your story and let's talk. We are building a community where everybody can speak their truth without fear and without shame, and especially with this topic, women should speak out their truth. Drop a comment and share your birth experience. Was it a natural birth, a cesarean section, or anything in between? Let's keep the conversation going. And remember, you are strong. You are valid.
Hello.
You are a mother.
How are you?
See you
What?
in the next video.
Yes.
Yours faithfully,
How are you?
Nancy. This is Let's Just.
How are you?
Bye.
Good.